Right before the video begins, I do want to thank everyone for the Overwatch 2 video blowing up. Kind of confused why, but it is kind of nice to see a video of mine doing pretty well for my channel standards. So anyway, let's get to the first toy review in a pretty long time. So this is going to be kind of hard to review just because of how big it is, and it's from a figure line I haven't done before. A akechi figure on none other than the best Final Fantasy VII character, don't at me, Aerith. If you don't agree that Aerith is the best character in Final Fantasy VII, just know that you're wrong, because Batman himself agrees.
Probably one of the only times I've cried in my life is when Aerith dies.
It's a very impactful performance for sure.
Yeah. My first love.
Anyway, like I said, this is the akechi Final Fantasy VII Remake, Aerith Gainsborough. Final Fantasy VII Remake is actually one of my favorite games. I've never played the original, sure, but I really enjoyed my time with the remake, and one of the standouts for me was Aerith. Tifa's great and all, but I have to admit, I think Aerith takes the cake for me. So them doing a figure on this was really cool, but I've never gone into the akechi line, mainly because they're expensive. I've been more into the Bring Arts line, as you can see in the back here with 2B from Nier Automata. So I was hoping they would do a Bring Arts line for Final Fantasy VII, but they didn't. So it means I probably wasn't going to be able to get any. But then Big Bad Toy Store had her on a pretty good sale for I think like $100 when she was normally $150. So I snatched it up, and wow, I love this figure. The painting and sculpting are immaculate. The dress has this like nice, I don't know if you can fully tell, but it has like a pink, like not dry brushing, but like a pink airbrushing in there to kind of bring it to life a little bit. Because her dress isn't fully pink or white, it's like an in-between. And her jacket is really well done. All the zippers are great on there. Even has her necklace, and her face is pretty great. Her pink bow is in the back of her hair that makes the like braided up ponytail, even with the other little, I don't know what you'd call that, at the end. Down here, her boots look really good as well. And I guess talking about her staff now, it's a nice metallic silver with a kind of glossy black for the hilt. It is pretty. That's the best way to describe this entire figure. Pretty, just like her. When bringing out her accessories, while they may seem lacking, she doesn't really have much in terms of accessories in the game even. Of course, there's the akechi figure stand. You already saw her staff that we already went over. She does have a basket of flowers when we first meet her that can just go above her elbow. She does come with 2 additional faces. One that has her smiling a bit. It's actually a little hard to tell at first, but yes, she is smiling. That's really the main difference from her main facial expression. And the other one comes for her praying, which for that, we do have multiple sets of hands. We do have the praying hands. We also have the hand that's giving Cloud a flower, some splayed out open hands, 2 fists, and then 2 grabbing hands that she's using to grab her staff. It's not a lot, especially if you paid $150 for this, but that's kind of just the character. She doesn't have a lot. Sure, maybe we could have gone an extra facial expression, but besides that, she comes with what she needs, and they're all done pretty well. To start off with articulation, with the head, it is on I think a double ball joint. She can look down that far. Not really that far up because of the bits of hair back here. Speaking of back here, let's just talk about the ponytail. It is on a full swivel, can even hinge, so you can just kind of put it anywhere, and I think it's a really nice touch. She can also tilt side to side, and of course, look around. For her arms, they can go out that far, do a full 360, though it does squeak a little bit, so it does kind of worry me. Bicep does have a cut so it can swivel. Double jointed elbows that look a bit ugly. Wrists are also on ball joints, so they can just go everywhere. Swivel here and at this end can just basically go anywhere. Torso is definitely a bit funny. She can go forward a decent amount, I'd say, for how high that is. Back not really that far in comparison, and she can tilt side to side. Now, the dress. This is where articulation does get kind of hindered. If you were wondering, yes, she does have white underwear. But looking at this, you can see how this is made. Legs can go up that far. They do click, so which is nice because of how big she is. They go out not that far, honestly. Is a side cut, so they can swivel. But keep in mind, when moving all this out, the dress does kind of get messed up, and it does look kind of weird. But she also does have double jointed knees and ball jointed feet, I think. Actually, maybe not. Yeah, they're kind of weird. It can only really like go up and down. Can't really tilt, unfortunately. And yeah, that's actually kind of it. The feet are kind of limited. And she has a toe bend. So because of the dress, she can't really get into huge dynamic poses. But aerith also doesn't really. So I think it's fine. Isn't like a character like Tifa. But then again, Tifa also has the shorter skirt and on-demand, so that's probably why. But articulation overall is pretty good, besides the legs because of the dress, but it's also understandable. Size comparisons for this figure are, of course, going to be kind of weird, just because of how tall she is. But the show must go on. So, first, let's compare to a recent tall figure I have bought, the Marvel Legends Guardians of the Galaxy Groot from the first movie, but this was the Toys R Us exclusive that was for the second movie. But they're almost the same height. That's actually kind of funny. The 7-inch figure, the DC Multiverse J. Garrick Flash. She's still taller. I do like taller women. Of course, Figma Lucina, 1000 Toys Conti, Masterpiece Sideswipe, and I guess since I don't own any other Final Fantasy VII characters, I'll just do another Square Enix girl. The Bring Arts Nier Automata A2. Overall, I really like this figure. As my first Playoff Kai figure, it's a pretty fun one. Even if the articulation's a bit limited, I'm not too surprised. I mean, it's aerith after all. But I'm also really glad to have one of my favorite characters in figure form. While she may have no one to go with yet, maybe I'll get her girlfriend and boyfriend, Tifa and Cloud. But until then, I think she's gonna look great, just standing on the shelf, like she has been. If you enjoyed this video, I just want to say thank you. And thank you for all the recent traffic on my YouTube channel. Until next time, I'll see you then. Bye-bye.